We will call to order the meeting. All right, I'm gonna do roll call. Commissioner Taylor? Here. Commissioner Salzer? Here. Commissioner Parham, sorry. Commissioner Lamone? And Commissioner Gonzalez. Thank you. And then I can have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yep. I'll now open it up for public comment. Moving on. All right, so now that we have a fully seated rec commission, now it's time for the reorganization. So now that the new commission is seated, it's time for the reorganization and the election of the chair and vice chair of the commission. While Lemoore Municipal's code is silent on the election, the city's practice has been to hold an election of the chair and vice chair among the commission every 2 years. I will chair the reorganization process. I will call for nominations for chair. Any commissioner may nominate another commissioner or himself, herself. When there are no further nominations, I will close the nominations and call for a motion to approve a nominee. If there is more than one nomination, a vote will be taken in last name alphabetical order. A commissioner may make a motion to approve any of the nominees. If the motion fails, a commissioner may make a motion to approve a different nominee. Upon a second and majority vote of the commission, a nominee shall become the chair. The same process is followed for vice chair. Oh, did we skip that? Just kidding. Pause. I skipped the administration of the oath of office. So if I can have you all stand and raise your right hand. And I will read you the oath, and at the end you can state I do, and then I will have you sign. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. I do. All right, so now we can go back to the reorganization. So I will open nominations for chair.
I nominate Sheila Taylor.
Any other nomination? All right, so as there are no further nominations, I will close the nomination. So I need a motion to appoint Sheila Taylor as chair. All right, and do I have a second? All right. Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Salzer?
Aye.
Parham?
Aye.
Limon? And Gonzalez? All right, so Miss Sheila Taylor is your chair. I will open nominations for vice chair. Any other nominations? All right, so I will close nominations for vice chair. So I need a motion to appoint Commissioner Gonzalez as chair, vice chair.
So.
All right, Taylor, your vote. Parham,
Aye.
Salzer,
Aye.
Lamone,
Aye.
and Gonzalez. All right, so Mr. Gonzalez is now vice chair. I don't know if you guys want to. Yeah. And then Miss Taylor could help run the meeting.
Oh, no, you get the check.
Well, you got it here.
Yeah.
Well, you have to sit next to him, don't you? Maybe. I know, that's what you get when you need me. My turn.
All right, so we also need a volunteer for a secretary to assist with doing the minutes for the commission. Do we have a volunteer commissioner that would like to
I
do
think a school administrator would be good at that, right?
that?
You're all ready. This is volunteer, this is volunteer. What, Marissa, what does it entail? Just taking notes during the meeting?
Yeah. And compiling the minutes for the agenda, for the next meeting agenda for approval.
Somebody else. There were no other volunteers.
All right, thank you.
Instructions, I'm the,
Do that.
can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. So I'll start by introducing myself, since I'm the only staff member here today. I'm the new recreation manager. A little bit of a background about me. I have an undergraduate degree in recreation administration through Fresno State. I also then went and got my master's degree in business administration. I've done a lot of work in the private sector and customer service. I wanted to make a change and look to help communities, which brought me to the city of Lemoore to run the recreation department. I've been here since February. It's been a great process so far. And I'm excited to work with all of you now. That is all for item 7.
So item 8 is you also.
So this is just to talk about your guys's volunteer hours. If you saw in the packet that we emailed you guys, you're required to do 8 hours. This meeting does include that as part of the hours. Options to use those volunteer hours to come work in the rec center with me in the office, as well as doing any of our events and our soccer that we have been going on, indoor soccer. Any comments? Yes.
So for this month, what could we do?
This month, since we're about halfway through, we don't have soccer in session just yet. So mostly just coming down to the facility and helping there. Is kind of all we have on the table, which would be great. We could use it, and it'd be great to get to know you guys one-on-one as well.
So you'd like us to call and set that up directly with you?
Yes. Well, you can always just stop by. I'm there from 7 to 4.
I stopped by today and there was no one there and the window was dark and I wanted to make a payment, but I couldn't.
We closed early for this event. We also had a.
I went at about, what time was it? Maybe 11:30. I can't swear to that, but So I was just wondering, is
I
there?
may have been in the back. But then you can email me specifically.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any other comments on volunteer hours? Yeah. So item 9 is also you.
Yes. It's gonna be the discussion of the Lemoore Youth Recreation Fund. We did attach that as well at the end of your guys' packets. What we're kind of just looking for is some feedback on this process that we have. Right now we're doing a 70-30 split and just determining with the filing process. So we wanted to reach out to you guys and kind of see where we should take that. I mean, we should change it to a flat amount. Because we are only budgeted right now $100 per child.
So, oh, go ahead.
You know, what was years past? What was the cost years past?
It's just a 70-30 split of the program. So there's no specific set amount that we have going right now.
There's not a cap on it per family? Yeah.
Yeah, $100.
Have you gotten a lot of requests for the youth recreation fund?
Yes, we do get a lot of requests. For this summer soccer, we had about 5 children. And I would recommend upping the limit, I think, with the raising pricing in our programs as well. The minimum for the program right now for soccer is 110. So my suggestion is to up it to 150.
Is it 150 per child or family?
I would like to say per child, because a lot of parents have multiple children they like to enroll. And it doesn't necessarily change, we have multiple children. I'd like to do per child.
And so when they come to register, and you said soccer was 110 this season?
Yes.
So they pay 30% of that, correct? Is that what you're saying? If they qualify for the youth rec fund, they pay 30% of the 110 and the rec fund pays the rest. Is that correct?
Yes. We confirm that. Okay. We've been doing some research on that.
And currently there's 14,000 in the account? And I had a question on the youth rec fund. Can I ask it now? Besides the Lemoore Lions Club, who else do you receive funding from?
We do not receive funding from Lemoore Lions Club at this time.
So Breakfast with Santa is no longer an event for the Youth Recreation Fund?
So in December of 2024, Breakfast with Santa did not make a profit. I'm not sure if it did in the previous year. Anyone can donate to the Youth Rec Fund. We are in the process of establishing the nonprofit organization for rec, so that will hopefully entice more people to donate, because then it'll be a tax write-off for them. But anyone can donate to it. It's just, unfortunately, the Breakfast with Santa is still an event that goes on. There just wasn't a net profit to put into that fund. But we had discussed wanting to increase that cap per child because registration fees are increasing. And with that 70-30 split, if somebody wanted to register their son for like indoor soccer and then flag football, they're paying more than the 30% to have them in 2 programs. So if we increased it to 150, it would at least allow them to have a majority of 2 programs covered during the year.
I am all for kids being able to participate in our programs. I always have been. The 14,000, then where did it come from?
So it came from donations from Lions Club and other private donors.
Okay, so Lions Club still donates to it, even though.
In what I looked at, we haven't received a donation from them for this fiscal year or last fiscal year. I don't know if they donated before that.
Okay.
The question I have for all of us, right? Being raised here and all that from Lemoore. My passion is soccer. It is for the kids in all their sports, not just soccer, but in baseball, basketball, what the rec program provides for not just my kids, but also my family's kids and my nieces and nephews and friends and family. What do we need to do and I wanna have a clear mindset when we leave tonight, that we could bring down. I know there's parents that have kids, multiple kids, that it's a burden for them. So what do we need to do? Either we ask for a donation, either we go, that's not a problem. But we need to bring down that cost, because I know the first instinct is to raise the cost. But, I mean, as a family, it comes down to, well, I'm gonna put my older kid in, but not my younger kid. When in reality, it should be everyone, right? So that's just my question I have for us as a team. And also, what do we need to have a clear focus of what we need to, what goal we need to meet to bring down those costs? Because everyone wants to raise the cost, I get that. If we have to raise the cost, that's fine, but we have to have, that should be a shape for not a long term.
Well, raising costs is to be able to account for the materials and everything that we're utilizing. Where I think it's not necessarily about bringing the cost down. I think it's about advertising more that we can do these assistants in the programs. Like, I mean, I think 5 children is a lot, but we had 700 children sign up for soccer. So the possibility could just be that we're not.
Soccer gonna explode.
Yes, we're gonna be increasing the days going forward because of the big turnout. But I think for the youth rec fund, making it more publicized, making it, to gain more donations to be able to help allow these families, but also looking at the qualifications that we, require to be able to apply. If it is an issue because they have 2 children, even though they might be, a little bit more financially stable than the other, if they're not able to get both children, and that could still be a reason to apply for the fund. And not making it look like it's a bad thing, but it's a positive thing that we offer.
So how much do we make on youth soccer? Do we have a cost analysis on it?
We don't profit a ton, honestly. It is one of the only things that's helping sustain the rec center right now. Because we're not making our money otherwise, in our rentals and our park rentals. So to be able to sustain itself and have employees work there, we do have to make our income, and that being one of the biggest things. It's not a huge impact, but I can get the numbers for you at a later time. I don't have them on me at this moment.
Wait, just to clarify, so the rentals like the boxing club and the Movement Factory and the Lemoore CrossFit, we don't make money from those rentals?
I'm speaking about specifically our civic center, our Veterans Hall. We're not making as much income to sustain the rec center right now. When I looked at the last numbers for starting, we're down, I believe, 60%. But that is definitely something we can dig into a little bit further in our next meeting. If you want to talk about numbers, we can bring that up for. I just want to keep us a little bit on track on the youth recreation fund. So I'd like to come to a resolution of your guys' recommendations as well to help.
I'm all for helping families have their kids in sports. Is there any problem with us soliciting donations? Okay.
No.
Sorry. So I was gonna say, I just want to be clear that the rec commission won't set the registration fees. So whether they're $110 or they're $50 or they're $200, those get set by staff based on what it takes to run that program. But we can certainly market donations for that, whether they come into the Lemoore Rec Foundation once it's established and we're really close to having it finalized, or if they want to do it now under the Youth Recreation Fund, you're free to advertise that, whether it's, friends that you have or companies that you work with or anybody who may want to donate to it. We did have a council member who probably doesn't want me to say this publicly because he doesn't like people knowing that he donates to things. But he didn't want to donate to the fund because he didn't want to pay only 70% of registration fees going to offset the cost. So he just said, I'll sponsor 3 kids to play soccer. Have the youth development officer at the school identify 3 kids who would benefit by playing but couldn't otherwise play, have them registered, and I'll write checks and they can be credited to their accounts. So people can do things like that too, or they can donate to the fund.
but in the sense of raising it to 150 per child.
I'm fine with that. Raising it to 150 per child, that's fine. And then I think us as a commission can work on getting some more donations into that fund so we can promote it more and we can have more families in the community use it.
Yeah, I definitely think we could get more kids to utilize it. That's the biggest thing, especially with how much we have sitting there and only 5 children utilizing it so far.
Do we have right now something set that we use, such as, sponsorship packet or any of that?
It's you're talking about the form?
Something that we could mail out or personally deliver to organizations that might donate.
We do not, but that is something we could work on.
That's something we could do for volunteer hours, is coming up with a marketing packet that we can go out to organizations and businesses with.
Okay. And then we will,
Number 10 is also you.
so it's just kind of just to talk about what the past Easter event we had was one of our largest. We had over 25,000 eggs donated. It was a big success. We had a lot of vendors show up. We just kind of wanted to talk about that and let you guys know that the Easter event was great. And going forward, we'll have you guys be volunteering at the Summer Bash in August. Sorry if you can.
Do you know what day that is? Just that's okay.
Yeah.
Just
It's towards.
Marissa, can you shoot us an email with what day the summer bash is,
It would
please?
be I know it's the second to last weekend right before, it's the last week before school starts.
Okay.
That I do know. And then we are creating a program right now that I've been working on all day, is adult soccer. So we're looking to run that through 3 different seasons, and we're gonna start this summer. We're working on the flyer and getting everything set up on team sideline. We're gonna have 10 teams max, 4 teams minimum, on Sunday after mornings is what we're gonna be introducing to get some more adult participation in the community. Now that we're open 7 days a week. Just put that on your radar.
And then there'll be a staff member there for that?
Yes, we work 7 days a week.
Will there be a security guard too? Yes, yes. Yeah, we all have experience with adult soccer, so yeah.
We get going, right?
A security guard would be a great asset for adult soccer.
And lastly, things I could definitely use some advice on. We are looking to do a softball training camp due to the overflow that we have with soccer. And we're unable to accept about 100 kids due to the overflow. I would like to offer another solution for the summer for kids to participate in. So we're looking to do a 1-week softball training camp. If you know anyone that would be helpful to facilitate or volunteer their time in the community.
What month did you want to do that?
As soon as we can, but probably, and I would say mid-July, since we need to get the advertising out there.
Except for 1 week, correct?
Just 1 week, yeah. So just Monday through Friday, while the kids are on break to participate in.
Does West Hills have a softball team?
Belinga does.
Kalinga does?
Okay. And then moving on, any commissioner reports or requests?
Where do you want to start? I have requests for information and I thought this today something came up that was just, I don't know, I'm gonna call it astonishing, but I had some recreation instructors get a hold of me to inform me that their $400 rent was going up to $4,830 on one, over $2,000 on another. And so I At first I thought it was a mistake, but then I called and got the information, and I thank Marissa for giving me the information. But can I state what we talked about? So she told me that legally they had to use there is a master use fee for the city of Lemoore, that they had to use those rates for our instructors, even though they were instructing a recreation program. My question, that rose, made many questions arise in my head. One is, in the state of California, you can only legally increase rent by 10% a year. So my request is, how are we getting around that? That's one. My other immediate thought was there has to be something else we could do. Maybe we make them employees. So we did discuss that in the old days, there was a split in how much revenue each class brought in, and the city got a portion and the instructor got a portion. So we did discuss that. My other thing was, there are other spaces in the recreation center that don't have a master use fee attached to them. So the dance room and the day camp room do have a master use fee. So I would like to request how many people, Joe Public, not the city, have actually rented those two rooms in the last, I'll say, 2 years. How many people are actually using those rooms from the public? Because if the answer is one or two a year, then I feel we should take them off the master use fee. And then we can make better contracts with our instructors. If we don't do anything, there's 4 of them that are going to walk out the door. And they don't even bring in that much as we're asking them to pay in rent. But it is going to affect, I added it up today, the kids that are in the program right now, almost 200 people. Some are adults. Zumba is an adult program, but there's kids programs too. And so we're affecting 200 people in our community. I know when COVID happened, there was a lot that we lost, but I would like to see us be better and find ways to keep what we have. So I'm requesting that information. And also we need to give the state law in California is you have to give a 60-day notice to raise rent. So those increases can't happen in June unless you know a way to get around that law. So that would give us to July to look for a way to help our instructors stay and to make it fair for everybody involved and that uses the recreation center. So I would like that to be an agenda item for next rec commission so we could discuss some options.
From my understanding, that is a. city
I just want to
council.
clarify, I can get the information and send it to you. It's just not something that you guys have the ability to change. So to remove it from the master fee schedule, only the city.
We don't have that right, but we can make a suggestion to council.
Right.
Yes, so we could make a suggestion and bring it to city council that we feel it's important to take a look at that so we can keep our instructors.
Correct.
Isn't that correct?
I just want everybody to
Yes.
know that you don't have the ability to change
Yes,
them.
we don't have the ability to change anything, but what our job is to keep council informed about what's going on in recreation. And if we see a need, then we can approach council with a solution, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I would still like that to be an agenda item to be discussed. Is that possible? Okay. And so we talked about the 60-day, how do we get past that? We talked about the state of California, asked the lawyers about how do you get by with raising someone's rent 10 times the amount that it is when the law says it can only be 10%. How many people actually rent those 2 rooms in the last 2 years? And then I think that would give us some information we needed to make a better informed discussion about it.
I'll try to be able to get you all the information. There wasn't a ton of tracking on a lot of stuff before I got here, so I will get as much of that I can.
And I understand that too. Also, so we can, is there a list of rec programs that'll happen for the rest of the year? I know we used to have a rec guide, we don't have that, but I'm sure there's something that is laid out for the rest of the year.
We do have a calendar, and I can get that situated.
Okay, that's great. And that way it'll help us know what we can volunteer for and when. So I know Paul and I, we do some other volunteer work and I know you're busy and you're busy and you're busy. So that way we can make sure you have everything covered. Okay,
So the year looks like the last thing we're gonna have is flag football. Right now it's just soccer and flag football.
okay. And also, I know we can't make decisions, but some, I know I don't usually, I've heard so much, even when I worked for the city, about pickleball. So there is a group that has gotten a hold of me while I worked there, and then I retired, and now they're back. And I've driven by Heritage Park and the Office of Education courts, and I'm not seeing as much activity at all on the tennis courts. So I would just like to discuss the option of maybe making one of those pickleball courts. If there's 2 tennis courts, you can actually do 4 pickleball courts, and just discussing it and seeing if it's something that's feasible, that we can take a look at, if we could talk about that next month.
Yes, that would definitely need fundraising for sure. That's something we
But-
can talk about. Yeah.
We're good fundraisers. We do sports in Stratford and we have no money out there. We have absolutely zero money. I would like all of us to work on one project to bring something back that has disappeared, whether it's the mother-daughter tea party, the father-daughter dance. Youth softball is another one that I'd like to see come back and actually have the city take over, but I'll save that for another meeting. Lemoore doesn't have youth softball anymore.
That's
Um,
starting
yeah.
out with.
Yes,
the
and
great-
I'm all in on softball, so I'll be there to help you. But I would like us as a group to pick a project and bring something back or make it happen. Or there were lots of exciting things to do. I guess that's just in my genes because I'm working right now on a summer concert series and I don't know why I do it, but I just feel there needs to be stuff in the community. So
What's the total amount of kids playing soccer right now?
We can only allowed up to, I think it's right under 600.
600?
And that was with me making the exception of adding 2 more teams.
I just
because
like,
of the
I
surplus.
kind of know the timeline, but I wasn't sure it's accurate. You guys get started from what time to what time on scheduled game times?
So they're Wednesday, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Are the games. All day Saturdays, half day Fridays, half day Thursdays, and end of the day Wednesdays.
And timelines, I'm guessing afternoon to end.
Yeah, after 4.
So, I know I made a suggestion a while back
Mhm.
to make another court or to even bring in a futsal program. It's the same thing as an indoor. Obviously the ball has just more dense, it's on the ground. And it's just, I see it now with the kids that I coach in high school that graduate and they go to the skate park. And
yeah,
actually
play
there.
futsal, yeah.
Yeah, and they push out, I won't say they push out, they wait for the basketball guys to leave and then they play. But all you need is a basketball court. They even do it at Heritage Park. They do it wherever there's a basketball court, there's a cage. Even at the one over here by on the other side of 41. The Chavez Park, right there by Haven. They play there because it's fenced.
Right.
Bring 2 bugs or bring a trash can and they play. So if that's something that if we want to bring back, I would say it's never brought back, but that's something new that could help alleviate the kids trying to play indoor. I get everyone wants to play indoor because that's the one that's there, right? We've seen that a lot, not just here in this area, but also Fresno, Clovis, and Visalia area where they're starting to do now a split of both indoor and futsal. So I gotta work with you on that or with us as a group to bring that to the city. I think that'd be a great attribute. And alleviate the time slots. Instead of being Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we could probably say we can eliminate 2 days. It could be, Friday, Saturday, instead of all being crammed in the rec.
Or if you need income, it's another way to generate extra income. If that's your most popular program and you can use the basketball courts to play futsal, what it takes is a small temporary fence around the courts. We've checked into it before and it's a pretty minimal cost to do that. But once again, then it takes staff at the soccer field and staff at the futsal court and
We do utilize the basketball courts during soccer. They're actually shut down for practices, so they already are being utilized at the same time. The games, however, are only on the field. But practice times, we utilize the basketball courts as well as the indoor field and outdoor fields. But I do like it for a different time of year, the gaps, I definitely think it's a great idea.
It's coming next year. And
Yeah.
it's gonna-
it's
kids.
more
I-
popular.
I know kids that never played soccer, that's all they wanna do is watch soccer, and I'm like, wow, I think it's gonna, and it's been like that, I think we've had an influx of close to 130 some kids an average a year try out for soccer in high school. Before it was only 50, so it's gonna be even more now. Just seeing the numbers that come in from the rec, from Liberty, from all the competitive teams out there are playing here, it's an opportunity, that's all.
Of course, yeah. And any more reports?
Any more requests for information?
Yeah, for me, it was. For me, I have just a couple requests. What's the procedure and process to get volunteers? To volunteer with Park and Rec for any type of services and extra, just manpower, what do they need to do? And then, as far as like offsetting costs, supplies, materials, what was the process as far as donating balls, gear, things like that?
We welcome any donations,
Okay.
so that can be donated at any time. Volunteers, we have a running list of all of our previous ones, so when it ever comes to like events, for the Easter event, we reached out to all of our high schoolers that have volunteered in the past. And they would come in and sign up, but essentially it's just them coming, making sure they're of age and signing up.
Okay, and then the last thing for me is just some
Yeah.
clarification on just the conversation about the recreation instructors and the rentals. I'm assuming that's like they pretty much just host their course in there, and then the course they use they pay a fee. Like
Correct.
if you were a barber renting a chair out,
Yes.
pay the fee to the city to be able to rent a course, right?
They are a contractor, yes.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Alrighty. Our next meeting is gonna be June 10th of 2025. And meeting adjourned.